Hello, this is Alex of Embertone, and today I'll be talking about Jubal Flute iOS edition. So before I do any talking, I thought it would be really helpful just to give it a little play. So here it goes. So Jubal Flute is one of our first instruments, and the first thing I wanted to make sure to do is to show you our website, just to point out the differences, because there are now two different versions of Jubal Flute. Today we're talking about the iOS edition, but when we first opened up shop in 2012, one of our very first instruments was Jubal Flute, and it was one of our first experiments in what we call true legato, which is sampling all of the transitions between notes within an octave. And so this was an instrument made for the full version of Contact. And here's the website. So you could check it out here. The full instrument sells for $15, and you'll find a video demo, a bunch of audio demos as well. And when you go to this site and compare it to the iOS edition, it sounds exactly the same. We used the same samples and the same concept when we made the instrument. So jumping over now to the iOS edition, here are the controls. As you can see, it's a very simple instrument. You have a keyboard at the bottom, and you have some reverb controls. Let's give that a listen. That's reverb. And then there's this button called legato, and that's what I just mentioned before. When you turn that button off, you put the instrument into polysustain mode, and in polysustain mode, you can play multiple notes. So that's fun. What you lose when you put the instrument into polysustain mode are those true legato transitions. So putting the instrument back into legato mode, listen to these transitions. And then there's a round robin mode, and you could hear the difference when let me just play it for you. So when you play repeated notes, you hear the same sample over and over again. However, when you press the round robin button, you hear slight variation. Which is really satisfying. Makes the instrument more realistic overall. A couple other features. There's a double keyboard button, and this is really fun. When you press the double keyboard button, a second keyboard pops up, and it lets you play little duets. So even if you're in monophonic mode, which is legato, you could play two lines at once. I should also mention that the pitch wheel on this side will bend the pitch. A couple more things. If you have an adapter or you connect wirelessly, you could use Jubal Flute iOS edition with a full keyboard. Having access to a full keyboard opens up new possibilities, especially if you're using a sequencer and you're doing some detailed composing. So I highly suggest connecting it that way. And once you do connect it that way, if you open this up, you see lots of different advanced assignment options. So there are lots of different MIDI customizations you can make. The input source, the channel, the output destination, and the output channel. And here you could assign different MIDI CCs to different components of the app. So if you want to switch between polysus and legato, you could do that via CC, and you could choose different CCs. You could control volume. The sustain pedal, you could change that if you want to sustain with a different element. And then reverb amount and time can also be customized. So the only one that I find really practical is volume, and I set that to CC1. And check out what you could do there. It gives it a little bit more contour. So that's Jubal Flute iOS. Only a few more things that I could point out, really, since it's a very simple app. There are some differences between the iOS version and Contact version. The obvious one is that Contact is for Mac and PC, and Jubal Flute is for iOS only. There are some distinct advantages to having the iOS version. The double keyboard is really helpful. You could input multiple lines at once. That's not possible in Contact currently. And another one of the real benefits to having the iOS version is that the samples here are fully looped. So you could play endless notes. Currently, the Contact version is not looped that way, so notes will naturally end. So that's about it. If you have any questions, go to our website. You could learn more about Jubal Flute iOS edition and all of our other instruments. And we hope you have a lot of fun with this instrument. Bye for now.